Hello everyone, myself Denny, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce. Today we are going to discuss on the subject Logistics Operations and Supply Chain Management. Under this we will start with Supply Chain Management as an introduction. In this course we will try to learn about what is Supply Chain Management, a Supply Chain Management strategy framework, components of an SCM, major obstacles and common problems in SCM, and 7-Eleven Japan. It's a case study that we are going to understand after completing our main topic. SCM plays an important role in the overall business of a manufacturer as it considers around 20% of the overall expenses in the operations. It was analyzed that 10% profit, 25% market cost and 45% market share is there, along with a 20% of costing for the supply chain cost. Now first we need to understand that why SCM is required and how it generates value to the business. It minimizes the chain cost while keeping a reasonable service level. A customer satisfaction, quality and time of delivery can be managed. The main theme of SCM depends on how efficiently we will satisfy the customers, how we will be able to manage with the quality of the manufacturing and the product delivery, and how timely we can do the same. This is how the SCM contributes the bottom line of the business, and SCM is not strictly for the cost reduction paradigm. It has its own objectives under which we have to consider the functioning of the SCM. Here we are just trying to describe the value of the SCM through a picture where a supplier will help the procurement of the goods in the form of raw materials to the manufacturer. From the manufacturer, the things will go to the downstream distributor, retailer and finally to the customer. This flow starts from an upstream to the downstream and aiming to match the supply and demand and profitability of the product and services. There is always a need of a balance between the supply side and the demand side, which requires to be managed for a profitable and satisfactory business procedure. Now when we talk about the achievements, we can achieve the right product with the right price at the right store with the right quantity to the right customer at the right time. Together all these things will give you a higher profitability to earn profit and manage the supply chain system. As we know, a picture is better than 100 words. So we can understand the supply chain management through the picture. The supply chain consists of supplier who helps in the procurement of the raw material to the manufacturer. From the manufacturer, the finished goods come to the streamline for the distribution to the distributor, and from distributor to the retailer and the customer. It's a flow from the upstream to the downstream, and it has an aim to match the supply and demand balance. We can achieve a better supply demand balance by providing the right product at the right price to the right customer, at the right store, in a right quantity and at the right time. With this, the profitability can be increased in a business model. Let's take an example of a detergent company where the Procter & Gamble is the manufacturer who requires the chemicals for making detergents. Now the procurement will be taken from the suppliers in the form of chemical manufacturers. Oil companies could be one of the part of that one. And they also require packaging material which comes from the plastic industry. When they procure these two, they have to combine it. The chemical manufacturer can directly provide the raw material to them, even through the other sources also. A timber industry will help them to provide paper manufacturing, and through that they will provide the packaging instrument. Procter & Gamble once produce the final detergent from these material, they will transfer it to the third party, that is in the supply chain, the distributor. From there they can go for a retailer, and through it will reach to the final customer. So this is how a supply chain works in a detergent making manufacturing company. Flow of supply chain is between the supplier and the customer, and there are three major aspects of this supply chain: material, information and funds. Usually the material is supplied from the supplier to the customer. The information is supplied in both the directions, that is from the customer the requirements and demands will come to the supplier, and from the supplier the final results and the feedback will come to the customer. And funds are transferred from the customer to the supplier so that the overall cash flow or the fund flow can take place in the function. The flow resembles to a chain reaction, that is why it is considered. Now, when we talk about the importance of the supply chain management, we can understand it. In 2000, the US companies spent $1 million trillion to the supply chain, that is the 10% of their GNP, on supply related activities like movement, storage, control products and control across the supply chain. It eliminates the inefficiency of the supply chain and can save millions of dollars. If we have a proper plan to manage all these things, it can help us to increase the profitability. There are certain challenges which come across through this method. That is, when we talk about a supplier, there are glitches of the raw materials. There are certain glitches when we have the machinery breakdown or the effect of the snowballs. Then from there, the frequent supplies shortage could be there for the manufacturer when they won't be able to procure the right material or the right raw material at the right time. There might be a chances of deficiency in the manufacturing system. This deficiency will lead to the high inventory through the chain. That means the distributors may have a high inventory status in which they can reduce the efficiency of better logistics management. From there, there is an inefficient logistics management through the transportation and warehousing system that can create a problem for the retailer, from where it reaches to the customer with a low order fill rates, high stockouts, high line cost and shelf and inefficient promotion. So, all these challenges come across with the supply chain management system because of the inefficient system. So, we need to be very careful while we are defining or describing the supply chain management system. A generic supply chain management system actually defines under the source, regional warehouse, field warehouse and customer demand contents. Now, from this picture you will be able to analyze and understand that how the supply gets started from a purchase, from the inventory to the customer fulfillment of needs. There are certain cycles which come in between the supplier and the manufacturer, which is called as procurement cycle, where the manufacturer will order the right product according to their need and the suppliers will provide the raw material so that it can be managed to manufacture the product finally. From manufacturer to the distributor, there is a manufacturing cycle under which machinery could be used to transform the raw material into a finished goods. From the distributor, it reaches to the retailer, that is a replenishment cycle, and from the retailer, it will reach to the customer order cycle. So, these four cycles are the major parts of the supply chain management system which allows the product to reach from supplier to the customer. Now, any other cycle which enters into this particular field is customer arrival, customer trigger an order, supplier fulfill the orders and customer receives the order. So, from these 0, 1, 2, 3, we can understand that how the product reaches from the supplier or the manufacturer to the end customer. Push versus pull system. Now, when we talk about the weightage of the system, it has both push and pull strategies involved in it. We can understand this with this particular diagram, where the procurement, manufacturing and replenishment cycle comes under the push process and the customer order cycle comes under the pull process system when it arrives to the customer finally. Now, here the procurement, manufacturing and replenishment is called as push process because each one would like to send their product in a second level of the supply chain management system. As soon as the final replenishment cycle gets completed and it reaches to the distributor, there needs to be a demand generation from the side of the customer which allows them to give a pull process in the system. That's it from my side. In the next lecture, we will continue with chain strategy framework and components of SCM to understand more about the supply chain management system. Thank you.